Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high.
Did you ever be in high cotton?
High cotton, yes I have.
I've been picking cotton.
I've not picked cotton, but I've been in cotton. I've been in high sugar cane.
The first money I ever made in my life was, we lived on a farm in Georgia, and the guy had cotton, and I made 5 cents. I was probably about 3.
5
I was
cents.
so proud. I thought I had all kind of money.
That's something.
But I did learn to work.
Welcome to the heat zone.
Heat zone, the heat is on.
The heat is on. Bonnaroo's over. 4th of July is next week.
I know. How did it go so
Politicians, it's time for the elections to be coming, and about that, we're going to do an insight show with every candidate that's running in the city here. That we have 5 automatic candidates and 3 mayoral. 3 mayoral candidates, and we're going to have every one of them.
Is it okay to tell me who all they are? Lynn Seaborn is one.
Well, Lynn's running for mayor. You asked me something I didn't bring in here.
Oh, okay.
Lynn's running for mayor. Kirk Glick's running for mayor. Petros Pacinos from Nicholas Restaurants running for mayor.
Okay.
You've got Zenobia McGee, a past alderman, who's running for alderman. You have Bush Toma running for alderman. You have Franklin Carmack, who was a teacher of the year, running for alderman. You have Santana. I can't think of Mr. Santana's first name, and a fellow named Bird. And I don't know either one of those people.
Well, isn't it great that we have that many people?
Yes. And the thing about it is, we're going to do an insight show. I'm going to have 2 candidates on each show. It will not be a debate. Each candidate will get 10 to 12 minutes.
Sort of telling what.
Tell their story. It's not about me asking questions. It's not an inquisition.
Right.
Anything like that. It's
just to give the
candidate an opportunity to talk to the public.
To how they feel.
And those shows will play in place of our news show all through the month of July, and they'll be on 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
So you're going to do this in July.
Huh?
You're going to start this in July.
Yeah. I'm starting filming the shows tomorrow.
Oh, good.
But then we'll start playing them, and they'll run through the month of July all the way up to election.
That's really a good thing to do.
And they'll also be on our website, so you can go on Channel 6, the link, the number 6, or the link Channel 6. Either way, you can get to it on YouTube and watch them all you want to.
That's fabulous.
And also, we streamed the city board meeting. I had a question on the phone last night while I was watching the University of Tennessee be the national college baseball champions.
Isn't that great?
Yes, it is. Never done that before. Congratulations to the Big Orange. And all the Big Orange was up there. Peyton Manning was up there, and coaches, and I mean, you name it. Phil Fulmer was in the stands. And,
oh, wow.
And it was a good deal.
A big night.
Good deal. And the young boy, Beam, what's her name? She cleaned teeth for Mike Long forever. Beverly.
Oh, Beverly.
That's her grandson.
I didn't realize that.
Who's the #1 pitcher for the University of Tennessee.
Oh, wonderful.
And Beverly and Susan Harris flew out to be there for the games.
That's awesome.
So, that's to have a young boy with Tullahoma roots.
We have some real good people that came from Tullahoma.
Always. Yes, we do.
Make us look good.
Yes, we do. And we have
them.
some good candidates that will be running for office. And the thing about it is, it seems that this town has been run over the last few years on about 10% of the voters.
Yeah, there needs to be a bigger vote.
My goal this time, is to try to get an informed majority to go to the polls and vote.
Go to the polls and vote. And
Don't
don't
care who
sit-
you vote for, just go and vote. Don't let 10%, 8 to 10 to 12% of the voting population of Tullahoma decide who's going to run this
And-
town.
and don't be
Get involved.
Don't be whining about what's going on if you're not going to vote.
You know, I recently have read John Meacham's book, which I'm a great fan of John Meacham. He's a historian who does autobiographies of presidents. And he and Tim McGraw wrote a book several years ago called Songs of America.
Yeah.
This is called The Soul of America. And the soul of America is the people.
Of course.
And he makes a statement in there that the people will put up with politicians until they can't stand it anymore. Then they rise up and make a change. So let's rise up and make a change. Because what we've gone through is has been a very, very rough time, very controversial, very embarrassing for our town, and it's time to make a change. Inform yourself and go vote.
Go vote, absolutely.
So that's all I got to say. That's all I got to say about that.
Well, you did
We
good.
got some stuff here.
What you got?
Oh, this is stuff that I just wanted to read because I think it's pertinent a little bit. I've read most of it before, but this is, I saw today on the Today Show where the Princess Anne was kicked by a horse.
Well, yes.
But she's doing okay, and they were showing the Queen and all about this kind of stuff. And this is something I wrote about the Queen, a Queen, not
A
the
queen,
Queen,
not the
a
Queen.
Queen, and a Marine.
Wow. The Queen and a Marine.
Yes, this is called the Queen Afternoon.
Okay.
There once was a queen that fell in love with a Marine one long afternoon that ended under the moon. Reflecting, fireworks lit up the night, reflecting their delight. But when the morning came, he was a queen's man again. He didn't see that as a fall, because he still walked the wall, showing his affection with his protection that reached to the moon since that Queen Afternoon. Reckon what they did.
Oh, you're right.
This is called coffee spoons. I have measured out my life in coffee spoons and morning pots brewing day after day until the years of sugared sweetness have caused my feet to swell and tingle in the most uncomfortable way. Though shoes and belt are both too tight and pose impending doom, I couldn't bear to start my day without the smell of coffee in the room. So I love my coffee. And
I think
my
we all
mother-in-law,
do.
Dot Couch, love coffee more than anything in the world other than a telephone.
I know. And I am reduced to 1 cup of coffee a day. That is,
And this is
That's
one,
hard.
This is one that has several meanings, and you have to look through it. But this is called Mary Pope. I've read this
Mary
before.
Pope.
Mary Pope on Church Road, riding on a goat, searching for redemption. Her heart was filled with hope. She'd not done that much wrong, but still she plodded along. The church door locked. With nothing to do, she picnicked on goat barbecue. Now,
I've had goat barbecue.
that's funny. The first response you get is a laugh. But what does the goat represent?
Good question.
Her transportation to the church. When she ate the goat,
She
she
had-
made sure that she had no transportation away from the church. So she would have to wait there until the door was unlocked to get redemption.
Oh my gosh. That's so deep.
Is that deep
John.
enough?
That's deep
Is that
enough.
deep enough
yeah.
for y'all? From a simple man.
That about buried
my
me.
next book that I'm working on right now is, and you can see some of the pieces in the Tullahoma News. They've taken a liking to my stuff and has started publishing my stuff in the
awesome.
Tullahoma News. Yeah, I've had something in the last 12 weeks.
Oh, well, I'm
In
sorry
there.
I've missed it.
In the Sunday paper.
But I
It's
do
called
have-
Writer's Corner.
Yeah,
But
okay.
my new book that I'm working on right now is called complex thoughts filtered through a simple mind. So I want to talk about things in this book that sort of like this kind of stuff that have multiple meanings and
Right.
and a lot of things that people try to explain to us. It's like when people come on this show from Arnold Center or for somewhere, they want to talk in acronyms, and nobody understands what they're saying
talking
but
about.
them.
Right.
So dumb it down just a little bit so simple-minded folks can understand what you're saying.
I agree with you. Yes.
So a lot of times the things that we hear that wouldn't make sense to us really don't, because they're too complex to understand.
Yeah.
So I go through some ideas and thoughts and dumb them down
That's good.
where everybody can understand what's going on.
Yeah. That's important. It's very important.
You know, now, whether I'm right or wrong doesn't make any difference. I write what I want to.
Yeah.
But, and they're funny and they're fun and different things like that. So I wrote one the other day called Tiger Lily, and I can't quote it probably exactly, but if a word you use is just good enough, a just good enough word compared to the perfect word is just like the tiger lily compared to a tiger.
Oh, cool.
You know, because if you write or if you try to think what you want to say and you're looking for that one word that just sets it off, makes it perfect. And a lot of times you just get tired of hunting for it and don't find it, and well, this is good enough. Well, it's not.
Right, it's not good
It's
enough.
not. That perfect
to
word
find
is
that
what
perfect
you
word.
need to make what you're doing. And
some-
that's just a little
and
short
sometimes
thing, but
takes
it
you
says a whole
long time.
lot. It does. It does.
takes you
It
a long
really
time to
does.
find that word.
And I've been thinking about a word to use in that statement I made a minute ago about the enlightened majority. You know, enlighten yourself to what's going on around you.
Sure.
Don't just listen to what somebody else says. Listen
And
to all of it.
And don't just decide if it's on
Educate
Facebook,
yourself.
it's the truth. Because that's not
Educate
so.
yourself. Don't particularly in city elections, don't think about what party they're in. This is the city. This is a small town. It doesn't have anything to do with Washington.
Right.
It has to do with loving your neighbors and getting the best things
For
to happen
Tullahoma.
for Tullahoma
Exactly.
and the surrounding areas. So, and we got all kinds of good stuff on the show today.
We got horseplay. We've got. what have you got?
I think unless he had a conflict this morning, Jason Quick, our city administrator, is
Good.
going to be here. We've got some video from Juneteenth.
Good.
Let's see, what else? There's South Jackson Goes Country. The auditions have been done, and everybody knows who's on and who's
Everybody
not.
knows who's in what show.
Who's in
and
the show.
When, what, where.
We'll be getting ready for that. We also have Midsummer Night's Swing coming up.
And we're doing it on Saturday night this year, which is July 20th, rather than Thursday night. It's been on Thursday night forever, but we're doing it on Saturday
Do
night.
it on a
this
weekend.
time.
That'd be good.
Tickets are $10 for adults, and children a certain age is $5, and little small fellers is nothing.
Small fellas is nothing. Small fellas is nothing.
Yeah, I want to say a word or two about a community helping to support a band. you know.
Right.
This is a large group of people that come from several different places, but people that go through high school and college playing an instrument, and then suddenly they go get a job and they can't find a place to play.
Right.
And that's why I think it's important to have a community band, which is South Jackson Street Band. It's basically community. However, we have
Started
people.
when, Peggy?
Oh, I wish you hadn't asked me that. My part started with it in about
30 years ago?
1991, I think. I think it was 91 when I started singing with the band. And Samantha Waters is following in my footsteps, and she'll be singing along with Jerry Anderson and all. I think I'll do a couple of songs for this year.
Doreen comes and sings every now and then,
She
doesn't
has
she?
sometimes. Doreen loves theater.
Right.
And so she does a lot of theater. There's a picture of us, and these people really come from all over Middle Tennessee, and they practice only twice a month, every 2 weeks, and we invite you to come out and join us on the 20th of July.
You know, and I think it's just absolutely wonderful, and that's something else you don't see. You go to your bigger towns, Columbia and some of these other places where they have local orchestras.
Right.
But usually a town of 18, 20,000 people doesn't have an orchestra.
Doesn't have one, that's true.
And that's another one of the unique things about Tullahoma and this wonderful city we live in is the education level, the training level of the people who come here to live and work here.
Yes.
And, you know, that's what's getting ready to happen. We're getting ready to bring a whole lot more people into the area because of what the military and the federal government's doing out at Arnold Center.
Things are changing.
Bringing in, spending billions of dollars out there to get us to Mars.
Do you know how many people they expect to bring in?
Well, I had Mike Dent on here about a month and a half ago, and he is the gentleman who's hiring for the Air Force.
Okay.
Not the contractor, for the Air Force, and they're bringing about 100 to 130 to 40 engineers.
Wow. So
The Air Force, just the Air Force side of it.
that'll have quite an impact on our economy here.
And then when they ramp this thing up, there will probably be, it'll get back up. You know, one time out at Arnold Center, there were a couple thousand people out there working. And it will probably get back to that glory again.
Yeah, I wonder if it will. You know, back when the Officers Club was working, I don't know if it's still
the
going.
The money that
but
they're going to spend
yeah,
out there,
things will come back.
I mean, this is going to be the new Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Basically, Tullahoma, Huntsville, and they'll probably bring Oak Ridge into the deal
Oh, you
too,
think
because
so?
they got a facility up there.
Yeah.
You know, and this is about supersonic sound and getting to Mars. Just like John F. Kennedy said, we are going to the moon not because it's easy, but because it's hard.
Right.
And that's what's getting ready to happen right here in our area. And then, of course, we've got a mega site on the other side of the interstate. So we got folks to interview right now. So we'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back.
I want to invite y'all to come by Clayton's, downtown Tullahoma. We try to serve the community, the area, and we try to help people with their feet and comfortable shoes. We still measure feet. We have a great new arch mat. We have insoles. Please come see us at Clayton's and let me help you find some comfortable shoes for those achy feet.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
STEM is everywhere, like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with sodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop with Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration, your #1 hometown HVAC company. We offer dependable and reliable service on all your HVAC equipment. We also offer high-efficiency trained cooling units. Call us for your cooling needs. Your comfort is what we do.
It's summer, call Stroop.
Saul, how's my water quality expert? Litter is taking a holiday and going with the flow? Is that what you're saying? Oh, litter on our roadways is flowing into our waterways. Gotcha. And that's bad. Right, terrible. Please stop. Oh, okay, yeah. Go to NobodyTrashesTennessee.com to learn more. So, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, folks, we're back, and I'm proud to have the gentleman who was selected and in my mind doing a pretty darn good job of running this city, our city administrator, Mr. Jason Quick. Good morning, sir.
John, how are you?
I'm very well, and you?
Doing well, thank you.
Y'all went through that board meeting last night pretty quickly. Do you think anybody wanted to watch Tennessee play baseball?
I kind of had a feeling that based on the agenda and the baseball game that we would get through, and then lo and behold, 30 minutes later, we're out the door.
Hey, I looked at when Ray hit the gavel down, Daniel Berry looked at his watch and just smiled.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, they did.
But we got what? We got the budget passed.
We did get the budget passed, correct.
Got the budget passed and had a couple of things. And the reason I want to discuss just a little bit of that, because I had several people text me after the meeting to want to know when it was going to be on the air. And that doesn't happen so very often. Right. It happens from time to time, but most people know where they can find it. But I think some of that was maybe over the conversation about Costa's stuff, possibly, or the budget, one of the two things. But just to let people know that we stream that, and it is, as we stream it, it's going straight to our YouTube channel, and it'll be on 193, but before 3 o'clock this afternoon.
That's right. You know, we get a lot of requests about when things are going to be published and when things are going to be put on television, and I like that just from the standpoint of that shows that your community is wanting to be involved, wanting to be in the know. So I see that as a good sign that people want to be involved and are putting the best interests of the city of Tullahoma first.
You know, when we started doing this 32 years ago, of course, there was no light tube. There wasn't anything. It's just us.
Right.
And advertising has changed. Communication has changed drastically since then. And it amazes me. Our YouTube channel just blows up, and it's not all young people. It's older people who have gotten tech savvy, who don't have to go sit at a certain time and watch something. They know they can go on that YouTube channel and watch it whenever they want to, roll it back and for anything they missed or didn't understand, and which is a wonderful thing.
So technology has become a tool of convenience now, and so again, like you said, you can watch it at your leisure versus having to be sitting somewhere at a certain time at a certain place. Yeah, you're correct.
Let's see. What did I have on my mind right there? You said something that is one of my big things right now is, I made a statement earlier that for the past several years, our city has been run by people elected by 10% of the voting population of this town. And I think we need to have a huge push by all of us who care about this town to get as many people to be engaged, enlightened, be an enlightened voter, find out what's going on. Don't just listen to what one of your buddies tells you. Eleanor Roosevelt. I was reading this book, John Meacham's book, Soul of America. If you hadn't read it, buy it, put it on your shelf, read it. Tom Brokaw said it needs to be in every household. She said, I don't care what party you're with. If you're not listening to the other side, you're a fool. Just because they're on the other side doesn't mean they come up with good ideas too.
You know, so I do this. I have a routine that I have followed for years as far as reading news. Now, we don't have the newspaper anymore, but I go to the same news sites in the same sequence for the last 20 years, and I try to get all sides of a situation, and then I can formulate my own decisions, my own judgment based off every side of an angle or whatever that I've read. So, but you bring up something that's really important, especially for a town like ours, is a lot of times what you'll see, I think, is you'll see leaders, elected leaders and all that being usually in their older part of their life as opposed to being in the younger. And so you'll have the older generation who will be making decisions for the next generation, that the next generation then is going to have to deal with. If you look at the elections that we have now, the candidates we have now, we have several that have never held an office before.
Right.
We have several that are very young, relatively speaking, and I think that says a lot about the city of Tullahoma, that we can attract candidates who maybe haven't been in the political arena before, who want to get in, who want to serve. And so with that, I always think you're going to have a lot more fresh ideas, if you will, and you'll have different perspectives coming from a side or a group or an age group, especially a demographic, that you haven't had in the past. So when I look at the list of candidates we have now, I'm pretty excited about you know, bringing in that new blood, so to speak. But the other thing that's really good is you're also going to have some seasoned politicians. So you're going to have Kurt Glick will still be there, Bobby Wilson will still be there, and Jerry Mathis. So it's going to be a good mix of the more seasoned politicians being able to help the newer politicians, if you will, come on board. And I think it's going to be a great mix, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, and it's sort of like our planning commission. You've got the old dude sitting there who's done it for years and years and years and years.
Right.
You need that. You need that. What bothers me sometimes about all of it is that the people who are making the decisions have no skin in the game.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
They haven't invested in this town.
Understood.
They're being paid some other way, you know, and the decisions they make don't change their dinner table. Their check's coming every 2 weeks. You know, the people who have invested and got skin in this game have been sort of pushed aside as being bullies or whatever. You know, you can't complain unless you go vote, the way I look at it. I don't want to hear you. Show me your sticker. Then I'll listen. You know?
So, I used to tell my children when they would be complaining, I said, you've got two options. You could either be quiet or do something about
Fix it.
And you decide which way you want to go. But I go back, you know, so you start talking about skin in the game. So you think about, let's just talk about some of the new candidates. So John Santana, Matthew Byrd, Franklin Kamek, newer generation, who I have had brief conversations, looking forward to getting to know them better during this campaign season, but they are invested in the community. They're looking to raise families and have a future, long-term future here. So they're going to definitely have the skin in the game, just like Kurt and Bobby and Coach Mathis. They all have skin in the game too. But I definitely see your point. I'm looking forward to seeing what a new board looks like. No idea how that's going to turn out, but as a city administrator, I can tell you I'm always excited for new ideas and new thoughts on how we can best lead the city.
Sure, sure. And some of these younger people, I don't know some of them at all. Two names, the Byrd, and I might have met them somewhere, but didn't know who they were. And Santana. Now, Franklin Kamek, he was what, Teacher of the Year?
He was.
And has won awards for his work with young people.
He's done some outstanding work with the FBLA at the middle school level, and he's led to some national champions, and definitely, in fact, he's taking a group, I think this Thursday, down to Orlando. So again, but then let's not forget, you know, if you also have two other candidates that are running, Zenobia McGee, very well known in this community, been a strong advocate for the community, and then you have Bush Thoma, who has a very well-established name in this town.
Well, their family's one of the building blocks of this town.
They are. So
you can't push those folks aside.
No. So I want to make sure.
Without them, we wouldn't be here.
Right. Agreed. And so my point is, I don't want it to look like I'm thinking we're just, you know, great.
No.
We've got Zenobia, who, again, strong advocate. We have Bush, who has done a lot of work. And then you have Lynn Seaburn, who is going to be running for mayor. Alongside Kurt and Petros. So
it should be interesting.
It will be.
It'll be fun. And I look forward to And our show that we're going to do is not going to be a grilling, an inquisition. I'm telling them all, look, this is your 10 to 12 minutes to sell yourself. I don't want to say a word. I don't need to say a word. Introduce you, and here you go. There's the camera. There's your camera to the world right there.
Definitely.
And talk to them and sell yourself and get yourself elected.
Well, now's a very exciting time
It is.
for the city of Tullahoma, and I'm just looking forward to what the next several years looks like for us. I think it's going to be outstanding.
So you've been doing your job now for
right at 9-10 months.
How you feel?
Love it. I had somebody ask me if I had $1 for every time someone says, "How do you like your job?" You know, I'd definitely be a rich man. I'd be in New York buying the $50,000 worth of suits we talked about. But you know, I think serving people, I think that's why we're here on this earth, from my perspective.
Well, you're supposed to be.
And the amount of pleasure and joy I take in this position is something I never dreamed that I would be able to experience. It's been challenging, it's been difficult, but my focus and goal has always been what's on the best, what's for the best interest of the city of Tullahoma. And I love working with people in the city, both in our employment and outside, all of us working together with the same common vision of what's best for the city of Tullahoma. I've never worked harder, never worked longer hours, but I can't tell you that, or I can tell you.
There's a joy in it, though, isn't
it is something that I have a hard time turning off. It's
Right.
a 24/7 job, and I enjoy every bit of it.
Well, I'm one of the newer commissioners on the Housing Authority Board, and I was pleased last night to hear about the police officer, and of course that's been done for years and years and years. I wrote a grant probably 20 years ago that started that, and when I was working over there. You have been coming to a couple of the Housing Authority meetings, and Tullahoma, the city of Tullahoma, has no control, nor does it fund anything that goes on over at the Housing Authority, other than the perks of this police officer.
Correct.
But yet you came and you come to some of these meetings. The reason being is because although we have no control over it, it does sit in the middle of Tullahoma in numerous places. And
So-
you want to make sure that the best can be done to help and make that the best possible thing it can be, because it's inside your domain.
It is. So the way I look at it, John, is I feel like I work for every citizen in the city of Tullahoma, no matter their street address, no matter their occupation, no matter their demographic. And I want to make sure that everything is being done well for all of our citizens. In that particular case, with the THA, basically the connection has to do with the board. The board selects the board members for THA.
Right.
Other than that, we have zero really to do with it. Do we get citizen concerns or complaints, or or praises on them? All the time, and especially the praise part. What I really am happy about with this new agreement that we have, a renewed agreement with the Tullahoma Police Department, is this is an individual that we've already selected who is going to be making relationships within those communities. He's going to be the person that they know that they can come to, they can talk to. It's not just a policing effort.
Sure.
It's more about making sure that he helps to help create and maintain a community and a culture that they all are excited about. And I equated it last night to like an SRO.
Sure.
An SRO in a school is not there just for a policing effort, but he's there to make relationships with the kids, know that they're there for support, they're there for anything that they can provide to them.
This is a good guy.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
This is not somebody to be scared of or
No.
run and hide from. This is a good
Not
guy.
all. And so
girl.
Exactly. And we're looking at hopefully that could grow if we have the funding for it. But I think this is something that's going to be great for our community. It's going to be great for those that are going to be impacted by this position. It's nothing but a positive for the city of Tullahoma, and I think it's another great example of how the city is always going to be doing what it can to reach out to all of its citizens to provide support in whatever area that's needed.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, that pretty much tells it. I personally have watched. Of course, we broadcast all of them, and you've been put in a couple of tight spots. I think you worked your way out of them with honor and dignity. It's a tough deal when you have a board that is so divided and so divisive as what we've had.
I'm going to be honest, John, and a lot of people ask me about that. I can tell you that working with our current board has been nothing but a joy. And I know people are thinking, well, he's just saying that. That's not true. I have good relationships with each one of those aldermen. Sure. Do we always agree? No. Do we disagree? Sometimes. But I think that there's a mutual respect there between me and the alderman. And when I took this position, I explained that my focus is going to be apolitical, nonpartisan.
Right.
I serve the city of Tullahoma, and whatever the aldermen pass, whatever the aldermen seek out of the city, it's my responsibility to make sure that I do that. And whether I agree with it or not is beside the point. And it doesn't. I'm going to go and I'm going to enforce, I'm going to develop, I'm going to lead based on the direction that they give me. And it's been a really good relationship with all of them. I've been very happy.
Oh, yeah, but it's what they do to each other. It's what makes things difficult sometimes.
It does, but you know what? If people are serving in those positions and they're committed and convicted in what they think needs to happen for the best interest of the city of Tullahoma, I can't blame them.
Right there.
It's all about we have to be on the same boat. We're all going in the same direction. We all may have different ideas on how we get there. Everybody kind of votes on what direction we're going to take. And then my job is to make sure to steer the ship in the direction they tell us to go.
And you're doing well.
Thank you, John.
Thanks for being with us this morning. I look forward to seeing you. And this cat's got on one of the best looking sport coats I've seen. I don't know when today. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I don't know if I'd want his position, but I'd take his sport coat. We'll be right back.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. 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 Woo.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size.
Yeah.
Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this past week we celebrated Juneteenth in the nation and for sure in Tullahoma, and there was a wonderful program down at CD Stamps. We're going to take you to some video from that right now.
Good afternoon. What a great turnout today for this celebration of Juneteenth. I'm so
glad that you're here. I'm so glad that the city is observing this and taking part in this special day. It means a lot not only to our city, but to our country as well. I can't help but sit here and think about my childhood and coming to see the Stamps. Now, first of all, I played basketball at D-Dub, and everybody knew at D-Dub, you can't go down there and see, you're not good enough, you got to stay at D-Dub. But this is embarrassing, and I hope this doesn't reflect poorly on my intelligence, but I remember coming to the Jefferson Street Pool. It's swimming all the time. But I'll tell you, this is a true story. I'd go down there, and I don't know if you remember those little filter things they would have, and you could do them back and forth, and so I would always play with them. And I'll never forget, one day, like the last swim of the year, and he's like, you quit messing with those. I'm like, oh, okay. You know what they did that fall and that spring? They shut the pool down. They removed the pool. As a 5-year-old, I kept thinking, oh my God, if my dad finds out that I let all the water out of the pool, if I'm lying, I'm not. I'll tell that story to my brother's children, but I thought, I'll let all the water out of the pool, and if everybody finds out it's me, I'm going to get a big one. But no, I sit here and I think about some of the names on this stage, and I think about some of the names that I grew up with and that you grew up with that mean so much, not only to the city of Tullahoma, but mean so much to me. And I sat there and, Ms. Braxton, where'd you go? I'm sitting here and make another connection today. She reminds me of her connection to me, to my mom and my family, and what they did to help us at a time of need. There's so many more people in this community that I could say that about, but I just want to say thank you for being here. I have spoken to several. I want to make this thing something that we can all be proud of, and let's continue to build upon this celebration. What more we can do. I tried to get JT to get Utopia up here. When he submitted the quote, I'm like, the city's going to have to get a loan. But I want to make this, I'd like to try to make this a day-long celebration, and I think we're off to a great start. So I want to introduce my friend Steve Berry to come up, and he's going to lead the rest of this program. And again, I just want to say thank you to the mayor, Noah, for being here, for our alderman, Kurt Glick, Ms. Bobby Wilson, for being here. I just want to say thank you for being here, and also I want to say thank you to our Parks and Rec and for our community engagement officer for all they've done to promote this event. So Steve, come take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Quigley. So, when I was asked to do this and help put this together, my buddy Jeff Dameron called me and he's like, Steve, I need your help. Of course, if Jeff or his brother Jay calls me and they say they need my help, they got it. Well, Jeff, what do you need me to do? He said, I need you to speak. Well, I said, whoa. See, I can talk to anybody, but getting up in front of people and giving a speech is hard for me. So, y'all bear with me with this, okay? First, I want to call up Mr. Eric Van Zandt. He's going to open us up in prayer, okay? Let us pray. Father God, we come in the matchless name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. We come to give you thanks and to give you praise, God. We thank you, Lord, for breath in our body. We thank you, Lord, for just being our Lord and just your guidance and your protection. We thank you, Lord, for waking us up and giving us the right mind to do your will and to serve you. God, I pray right now, Lord, that every speaker, God, that you would touch the sound of their voice. You would touch the hearts and the minds of your people to receive, Lord, so we can grow, so that we can change, and so that we can serve you and we can do your will. Lord, I pray right now, Lord, for safety for each and every person that's represented in this place. But God, I also pray that you grant safety, Lord, that you surround your angels around this city and the surrounding counties. Lord, I pray that you place it on our hearts and our minds to rise up and to serve you and to be about our Father's business. We love you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, so the first person that's going to come to the stage is Brother Deacon Mike Pate. Mike Pate is a native of Los Angeles, California.
After a 23-year career, he retired as a state peace officer. He was a sergeant. Upon his retirement, he accepted a job as an academy instructor at the Tennessee Correction facility here in Tullahoma. Him and his wife of 38 years moved to the area. Mike studied criminal justice at Bethel University in McKenzie, Tennessee. As I stated, he's a deacon at Mount Zion Baptist Church here in Tullahoma, where he teaches Sunday school, Bible study, and he is a father of 2 adult boys, grandfather of 4, and great-grandfather of 2. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Pete.
Hello, hello. Hello. This is indeed a great honor. You know, when Steve got called, Steve called us. You know, and Steve goes, Mike, I need you to do something for me. I need you to come and speak. And I count it an honor and a privilege to stand here before you. But I asked him, I said, Steve, what you want me to talk about? What's the topic? He goes, just tell how you feel about Juneteenth. And so I thought about it. And as I was thinking about it, I thought about them, our ancestors. On the day that they received the news, I believe this. I believe that they had heard about it before it was even brought to them by the military. I believe that. And I believe that they had mixed emotions: joy, jubilation, fear. Fear of an unknown future. All you have is the clothes on your back. Probably no shoes, no food, no shelter. In a land that you helped build that don't like you, that don't respect you, that treated you less than a human being. And now you're on the road going someplace. And so I thought about that, and I thought about all the challenges that we as a people have been faced with, and as we face with to this very day. The simple fact that things were given and things were taken away. They said, hey, you know what? They're dumb, they're stupid. But they built communities, they built wealth, and then it was taken and was torn down. And then they built communities and they built wealth, and it was taken and it was torn down. And here we are with laws. We had Jim Crow laws woven into the Constitution, the 13th Amendment. You can be a slave if you're put in prison, okay? So let's create a law to get you back into slavery. If you don't have a job, you get arrested. If you don't have a certain amount of money, you get arrested. And so you put back into slavery. So now you're working a chain gang. But now it's so-called in the 7 states legal because you are deemed a criminal. I'm not going to give you a job, you know, so I can put you back in chains. And then as the future has come on, you know, when we look at today, and I want to just jump all the way to today. If you notice, my shirt says vote. Look at the candidates. Look who's in the White House, and listen to their rhetoric. When we were protesting during the Trump era, we heard that they were animals. People were animals. Call the National Guard on them. We have been hearing this all of our lives since we were brought here. They're animals. And then when people attack the Capitol, what do we hear? Patriots. They're patriots. Do you not know that right now Canada is talking about the possibility of civil war here? Because of the rhetoric of a man that's running for president again? How important is it to get out and vote? People have died so we can vote. And I'm going to tell you this, you might not like either candidate, but a no vote is a vote for the very wrong person. Amen? You know, so I would say cast the vote for the one that would do the less damage and pain to you. That's what I would say. That would be my encouragement. But I would say get out there and vote. Exercise your right to do so. It's very important. I want to leave you with this. This poem is by Maya Angelou. And when I read it, and I've read it years ago, and you've heard it, Still I Rise. And I said, well, Maya wrote that for women. But did you really read it? Or did you really listen to it? Really listen to the words. Really listen to it, because it talks about a people. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Because I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want me to be broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like tear pits, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard? 'Cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like air, I'll rise. That I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs, out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling out there in the tide. Leaving behind night terrors and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bring the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and hope of a slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Thank you.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop with Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration, your #1 hometown HVAC company. We offer dependable and reliable service on all your HVAC equipment. We also offer high-efficiency trained cooling units. Call us for your cooling needs. Your comfort is what we do.
It's summer, call Stroop.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Welcome back. I didn't even realize you guys were out there. I have Kristen Bain with me from Horseplay today, and I'm so excited to have you here because I know you're volunteering.
Yes.
And we're always looking for volunteers at Horseplay, but I believe you're going to hook in and stay.
That's my plan.
Are you committed?
That is my plan. I am here for the long haul for sure.
That's awesome, and
Yes.
it's such a wonderful program.
It's an amazing program.
What we want to do, well, let's tell real quick. Everybody doesn't know what you do, so let's give a little, tell us what you do.
Okay, I'm a volunteer. I started volunteering out there last fall. It is a nonprofit organization. We help children with disabilities learn to ride horses. All they need is a medical diagnosis from a doctor, and it's an amazing program.
And so you have children with autism, and sometimes they have different diseases, right?
Absolutely, they have all
And
different disabilities.
Is 18 the limit?
Yes, 18 is the limit. Yes.
And if you are interested, copy that down and check in with Horseplay.
Yes, we are always wanting volunteers.
Because I know
for
you're
everything.
working hard in the summer, and are you having classes?
We do. We have, I think, about 3 weeks left of this session for the
Okay.
summer.
And can you still take somebody else in, or?
Oh, we can always use volunteers. Absolutely.
Okay. But can you take in more children? Do you have a limit? I guess that's what I'm saying.
That I am not sure, but they could always get in touch with Horseplay and
Right.
see, because there are some kids
get
that
on the
they do
list.
move on and,
Right.
find other things. So
course.
absolutely.
We really need to talk about an event that's coming up to raise money for Horseplay, because everybody knows there's not enough money to take care of horses and keep the land clean and keep the stables clean.
Absolutely.
And so this fundraising event is coming off August 24th. And I had to laugh out loud when Loretta told me what it was called.
Yes.
You want to tell them?
It's called the Pony Plop, and it is exactly as it sounds. It's from 5 to 7. We are going to grid off the arena. When you buy a ticket, that is tickets are $25.
And there's the grid.
Right, there's the grid.
And I love that because it's all cleaned up right now.
Yes.
No plops that I see.
No plops yet. No plops
and
yet.
so those are going to be numbered and lettered,
Yes,
correct?
absolutely. There's.
All right, here's what they do.
Yes, this was a trial run
right
we did.
there, you've just seen it. And if yours horse, well, it doesn't have to be your horse. If one of those 3 horses
yes
drops a plop
in
on
your square, you
and so
win.
how much does that cost?
Tickets are $25. First place is pays out for $300. Second place pays out for $200, and third place pays out $100.
That's awesome. I think
Yes.
this would be a good time to show the video, if you don't mind, of that explains a little bit about it.
Join us for a super fun new fundraiser. Horseplay Inc. will be having a pony plop. We've divided our arena up into 280 squares. Each square costs $25. We're going to turn the horses out into the arena on Saturday, August 24th at 5 o'clock. And the first pony who plops in a square initiates that ticket owner to win a first place prize of $300. If there's another plop, the second place winner wins $200, and the final third place winner wins $100. We hope to see you there.
That's awesome. And I know that there's more to it than what she said, but she got pretty close to getting it all.
Yes, and we are also having a silent auction that night.
Oh, and if you have some pieces out there that you'd like to donate.
Yes, absolutely. Donations are very welcomed.
And do you want to tell us about some of the donations you already have, or do you know yet?
I
started.
still have a few things in the works, and I will be going to maybe different local businesses to see if they would like to donate. Only because this way it helps us, but then we can also get their name out there, so
Right.
people I'm all for helping small businesses.
So is your auction going to be where there's an auctioneer up there going da 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 da, or is it going to be a silent?
It's all silent auction.
Okay. So they'll all be labeled and numbered and.
Yep, and you'll just write down what you want to bid on each thing. I will tell you, we do have some furniture. Things that I know of now are furniture, couple of saddles.
Oh wow! So
Yes,
that's a real big deal.
Yes, and everything has been donated to us.
That's wonderful.
So it's absolutely wonderful. Everything that we make that night is going to go to
I know it
Horseplay.
takes a lot of money to run Horseplay because there's no money unless it's donated. Am
Absolutely.
I correct?
Absolutely.
And it doesn't matter how little or how small, the money can be put to good use. And I urge you to buy a ticket. I just think that's a cool idea. Who thought
Yes.
that up?
Holly actually thought that up.
And Holly is
she is the director.
Director.
And she is one of the trainers out there. So yes, so it is going to be.
And I
a
heard
lot
through
of
the
fun.
grapevine that you might need all kinds of volunteers.
We do need volunteers. Absolutely, we need volunteers if you are interested in maybe helping with the grounds. We have trails for the kids to come on. We have a sensory area, so all that has to be maintained.
And I believe, if I remember correctly, that anytime a child is on a horse, there has to be someone on either side of the horse. Is that correct?
Depending
Or
on the
one, maybe.
child's needs.
They're
For the
always
most
safe.
part, yes, there is always somebody there. So we need help with that. We need somebody who, always to help with leading the horses, barn chores, making sure that they're saddled up and ready to go for sessions, making sure, that they have clean stalls, food, water, things like that. So we always need.
Kristen, I know you haven't done this all your life. What are some of the greatest treasures you've gotten from this volunteer work?
It's always been my dream to work with horses. And I feel like I finally get a chance to go after my dreams and work with horses. And when you see these kids light up because they reached a milestone or something that they just thought just tickled them, it is the best feeling to sit there and watch these kids, some of them nonverbal, and they just light up. They don't have to say anything.
That's beautiful. I think that when you give back, it changes your life.
Oh, it does.
For the
It's-
better.
Absolutely. My heart is just, that is my happy place out there. It just warms my heart to be with the horses and the kids, and we have amazing volunteers out there already.
All right, that's Horseplay is up there, or you could even go out to. Is Horseplay open all the time in the summer through the day?
I'm not sure through the day. I do know certain days it is when we have camp and stuff, but for right now, for the next 3 weeks, I believe, on Monday nights, starting at 5 o'clock, we do have sessions. Feel free to come out and see what we do.
And you could buy a ticket then, or you can call that number or go to Horseplay Incorporated.
Absolutely.
Online and get a ticket, I believe.
Yes, or they can get a hold of you, or however they can get a ticket. Absolutely.
However they can get there.
Yes,
right?
however they can get there, however they can get a
And
ticket,
I really
absolutely.
encourage you to invest in this. That's investing in our children.
It is, and
it's a
it's
beautiful
just
thing to do.
all around. It's just an amazing program.
And it helps parents too, because sometimes they don't have 5 minutes to themselves.
Yes, and here they can, we do ask that they do stay, but they can sit in the car, or they can just sit there by themselves for a minute and just have that peace for a few minutes.
And so really all you have to do is buy a ticket. You don't have to be there to win. The horse just has to happen to plop on your spot.
Yep, and 18 and older. But yeah,
Well, you know what your number is? I mean, will somebody give you the number before the night?
I believe.
I don't know how that works.
I don't either. I believe that Holly will
let them
that
know
Holly
what their
will let
number
them know what
is.
their numbers are. Absolutely. But yeah, it's
not
gonna
like
be
you
fun.
can throw in your $25 and say, I want number 10.
Right.
Because obviously it has to be kept up with by someone. So
right.
Just call in and give your money, or where do you take your money? Can you mail it to this?
I'm
Is there
pretty
a
sure that
mailing
you
ad-
could take it to
Yeah.
Horseplay. That unfortunately I'm not sure about that, but I know for
Now,
sure.
I'm
you can take it to
assuming
Horseplay.
that all the people that help with Horseplay maybe have a bunch of tickets. How many you want to sell?
We want to sell all of them.
Okay.
280 tickets. We want to sell them all.
Tickets. Well, I'll promise you I'll buy one. We've got to go, Kristen. I hope you'll come back.
I will.
And
I would
good
love
luck
to.
with this project. I think it sounds fabulous.
Thank you so much.
We'll be back with more.
The Bookshelf in Tullahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma is where we sell used books, which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me in life care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back, and that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
Parkview Senior Living, active, independent senior living at its finest.
Do you love sports? Then you should know about STEM. Because maximizing nutrition, analyzing peak muscle performance, calculating the perfect shot, and more are all made possible by science, technology, engineering, and math. In fact, there are more careers than ever in sports science. So if you have a passion for sports, then think about getting involved in STEM and improve everyone's game on and off the field. Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello everyone, I'm John Rickman. And I am Pat Welch, and John, we're here today for the 55th rendition.
55, traveling right along.
I mean, we are.
Songs from the 60s and 70s, 50s even, are the ones that I'm familiar with. And one that George Hamilton IV had out was called Abilene. I sit alone most every night and watch those trains pull out of sight. I wish that they would carry me back to Abilene, my Abilene. Abilene, Abilene, prettiest town I've ever seen. Women there don't treat you mean in Abilene, my Abilene. Crowded city, ain't nothing free, nothing in this town for me. I wish to the Lord I could be in Abilene, my Abilene. Of course, Abilene, Abilene, prettiest town I've ever seen. Women there don't treat you mean in Abilene, my Abilene.
A fine rendition, John.
Women in Tullahoma don't treat you mean either.
No.
Correct?
No, no. Not if you're as dashing as you and I. That's for sure. Well, we normally use your song as a segue to the body, and sometimes it's a stretch, and today will be a little bit.
Just doesn't always work.
Yeah, today will be a little bit of a stretch.
I did have two grandparents who lived at Texas.
All right.
One in Carlsbad, Texas, near San Angelo. He was a doctor and went out there to sanatorium to work, or sanitarium, whichever.
Sanatorium, I think.
Well, anyway, he was out there, and then my granddaddy went out with his daddy and brothers and sisters and they raised cotton out in Texas. So but all of them came back to Tennessee.
That'd been a hot chore.
Yes, it would.
But you know, there's a lot of horses in Texas. And today we're going to talk about a Confederate cavalryman that was close by. At one of our recent segments, when I was in East Tennessee, we went through a segment on a church in Eusebia area, which is East Tennessee, which is between Seymour and Maryville. And there was a cemetery there that the East Tennessee had a lot of Unionists in the, and would have fought for the Union in the Civil War. And I found a tombstone of a gentleman that had served with the Union in their cavalry, and we said we would come back and try to balance it out. And while I was at the Builder Supply, we had a job past Flat Creek a little bit in Bedford County. And if you go down towards Lynchburg and turn right on the Flat Creek Highway, about a mile or two on the left is a really old, pretty cemetery that still has got some recent burials in it, but it's also got some really old Moore County people there. And I think the name of it is the Wiseman Cemetery. It's kind of below the grade of the highway and has a metal fence around it. It's really nice. And I had some extra time one day while I was calling on a customer, and so I thought, well,
it's funny how you always manage to have a little extra time.
A little extra time, yeah. Then some people at the office would also have wondered the same thing. but I did visit that cemetery on a run down there, and I don't know why, but I was kind of drawn to the front right section, and as soon as I got there, I noticed that there was a gentleman, Jesse Gordon Moore, from Moore County, who had fought in the Civil War as a cavalryman. And I couldn't find much on my own, so we enlisted a real historian back. This has been, probably 10 years ago maybe, Dr. Bradley.
He knows
and he went on a visit to the archives in Nashville. He came up with a whole lot of information on him. And there was a regiment from Tennessee, the 16th, that was formed in 1861, and most of that came from soldiers in Coffee, Bedford, and Lincoln. And at that time, in Confederate history, they enlisted for a period of a year. Well, in 1862, when the time was up, several of them stayed, but wanted to come in as cavalrymen. And this would have been the time that Jesse Gordon Moore would have volunteered and came with them. And most of those people came from near Flat Creek, where you again turn at the Flat Creek Highway.
Did they want to ride a horse instead of march?
I think it was a little bit safer because they were also making raids.
Okay.
You know, they weren't in the front lines. Okay. And I think riding the horse would have sure beaten walking barefoot, which some of them at the end of the war would have been relegated to. But in this little communication that Dr. Bradley sent me, he said the cavalry that they served in, most of these men, served in the 4th Tennessee Cavalry, and it was commanded by Colonel James W. Starnes, a physician who was from near Franklin. Mm-hmm. And Colonel Starnes was killed on June 30th, 1863 in a skirmish which was fought between Tullahoma and Manchester as the Tullahoma campaign was coming to a close.
That's a marker out on the highway.
There's a marker at the Harkle Smith Nursery Road, and that's in the area that Starnes was killed. And Starnes served under Nathan Bedford Forrest. In December 1862, the 4th took part in a raid in West Tennessee led by Nathan Bedford Forrest. The next spring it fought Thompson Stations, Brentwood, in the Tullahoma campaign, at Chickamauga in September of 63, and on a raid into Middle Tennessee in October of 63. In 1864, the unit took part in the Atlanta campaign and was in combat for 100 consecutive days. In September of that year, the unit again raided into Middle Tennessee, and that's this time that Jesse Gordon Moore was captured. On the raid in 1864, he was captured near Sparta and was sent to Camp Morton in Indiana and remained there to the end of the war in 1865. And his, Phil, if you'll put up his, the top part is his headstone, and the bottom part is on the ground at his feet, and gives a little bit more about his service in the Confederate Army, and it's marked at the bottom, he's a prisoner of war. And I'm assuming that once they were freed, and I looked up Camp Morton too, John, the conditions there of all the Civil War, both North and South, wasn't ideal. And when they were released in '65, I doubt they gave them a train ticket back home.
He was born in 1845, and if in 1861 the war began, he was only 16 years old.
Yeah, that's why he was 17 from what I figure in '62 when he would have enlisted. So he would have from 17 years old to about 21 when he got a chance to come home, and I would assume he walked back home, and that would have been a tough journey, I would think, from Indiana on foot to Moore County, but he lived to 76 years old. So he's a hardy old guy, and I really thought it was really interesting. But one thing happened that was really peculiar about that. I talked to Dr. Bradley again several months later, and he said he'd been contacted about 3 months after that I had talked to him about Jesse Gordon Moore, and there was some descendants of a Moore who had a ancestor that would have been in the Civil War that was buried about a couple miles up that highway closer to Flat Creek. And they said that his last name was Moore and that he had a twin. And so they asked Dr. Bradley, knowing that he was a good local historian, do you have any idea of who that twin might be or where he was? And he said, well, if you'd asked me 4 months ago, I couldn't tell you. He said, but I can now. And they were looking for Jesse Gordon Moore. That was the gentleman's twin. He had a twin that also fought, and I wish I'd had a chance to get a hold of Dr. Bradley before we came today to see if he had a little bit more information about him, but that was almost kind of eerie.
That was amazing
to find that out.
And Starnes, Pearl Columbus Haynes, my great-great-grandfather, fought under Starnes, and when Starnes was killed, McLemore took over. McLemore. Starnes McLemore was the unit name after the...
John, you're as good as Dr. Bradley.
That's a little something I picked up along the way. My grandmother told me a whole lot of stuff.
And we're going to have a segment to bait all of our fans. John's ancestor, Columbus Haynes, was shot with a mini ball that started in one of his nostrils.
And we hit him right here.
Yeah, we won't go through the gruesome details until that day, but we'll have that hanging out there. And John, that pretty well brings us to a close on segment 55 of the Conversations of John and Pat.
Maybe they'll let us come back again, Pat.
If management allows, there's more stories to be told. Thank y'all.
Talking history about this and that. It's Conversations with John and Pat, with John and Pat, with John and Pat.
Hi, my name is Ringo. Here at Barkview Senior Living, they're human-friendly. That's why I love it here, and so does my senior human. When they want a bite, they get chef-prepared meals, and so do I. Movies in the theater, day trips, walks on the trail, and other senior humans to play with. The grass and the grounds are exquisite. It's everything my human needs to be healthy and active. Barkview. A Parkview Senior Living. For your dog's best friend, you.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how's sketches, mate? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes. Look at that. You even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you got to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program and are now completely, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop with Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration, your #1 hometown HVAC company. We offer dependable and reliable service on all your HVAC equipment. We also offer high-efficiency trained cooling units. Call us for your cooling needs. Your comfort is what we do.
It's summer, call Stroop.
After many years of Bonnaroo, and as I told you on a show a week or so ago, that we were, Philip and Andrew were called out by the folks at Bonnaroo at a press conference saying that we were the longest continuing news media who has filmed and covered Bonnaroo. And we're proud of that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to bring our man Andrew Todd to the screen with War.
We are here at Bonnaroo. Who are we? And who are we? Who are we?
We're Gwar. We'll go far. We've got guitars. We'll crush your car.
And you will also conduct a wedding ceremony. I understood you guys did that earlier today.
Yes. Blothar, our singer, he is an officiant, and he's done many of these weddings. But the weird thing is they get married and then they're instantly dead, so it's pretty short courtship.
I was wondering about that. I was like, what do you get more enjoyment out of, the actual wedding ceremony or the passing of the boat?
I like the terrible divorce proceedings with lots of tears. I mean, that's what everyone thinks. They're going to marry a nymphomaniac, and then after you're married for a bunch of years, the nympho goes away and you're just stuck with the maniac.
Well, you guys have been here before to Bonnaroo and absolutely destroyed it, as you do everywhere you go. What made you want to come back and conquer Bonnaroo?
Well, it grew back, so we had to come and kill it again. Yeah, it's got so much infrastructure and water and toilets and I don't know. We just had to come see what it was all about, I guess.
Well, we're looking forward to it tonight, and we know you're going to burn it down like you always do.
Yes, we're here to call the herd.
That's right. Well, guys, thank you so much for talking with us today, and can't wait for the show tonight.
The pleasure's all yours.
Oh, and I meant to tell you, I still have a bloody cap from the last performance here at Bonnaroo that I still have from you guys, so I just want to let you know.
Failed miserably because you should have been dead.
You'll get me this time around, I'll bet.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Whatever that was, there it was. Leave it to Andrew Todd. Ladies and gentlemen, I guarantee you. Well, Peggy, we've gotten through another one.
I know, it's almost time to go, and I want to reiterate about the horseplay.
Horseplay?
Try to buy a ticket for that, because that is
That's a great
and
organization.
it's a great organization, and so many people they help.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. They do, and
they need
and we all
volunteers.
need to remember it's not the what races you've won, but the good deeds done.
The good deed. That is good. You got to write that into a
Oh,
song.
it is. I've already done
Have
that
you already
one.
done it?
Oh yeah, yeah. That one's already been in the newspaper.
All right, great. I love it.
So, yeah, we just want you to remember again that the election season is on its way. Be engaged, be educated, be an educated voter, an enlightened voter, and listen. Listen to both sides. Don't let your neighbor or your brother or your mother or anybody tell you how to vote or who you need to vote for. Go figure it out yourself. Be an engaged citizen here in Tullahoma. It's a beautiful small town. Great things are happening here. Be part of it.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
No, ask questions. Go to if they having some type of debate, go to the debate. Watch Insight on our channel and on our YouTube channel. We will have every candidate with the city will be on Insight in the month of August, playing numerous times.
That's wonderful.
Not August, July. The voting date's
it'd
August.
be late if you do
Yeah,
not.
if it's on in August, it's a mistake. It needs to be gone by then.
But that's such a good thing to do. That's one good thing about having a TV station right here in town.
Yeah.
That
we're one of a kind. Of course, LightTube is here now, but for years and years and years, we were one of 3 or 4 in the whole state of Tennessee that did what we did. And Pete James was over in Fayetteville, and Julia, they were over there doing the same thing. But that was with a city utility company. But as far as an independent producer, we're one of the very few that's ever existed in the state of Tennessee. And we're very proud of it. And we want to thank our sponsors for that. And if you want to chip in, we'll take donations. I'll guarantee you that. Anything to keep us on the air, ladies and gentlemen. We'd love to have you.
You still sell some commercials?
We sell commercials all the time. Call me, 931-581-5238. Be part of what's going on in this town.
Be active.
And it happens, it starts right here. So just watch us, tell your friends, we love you. Keep doing what you're doing, be informed, and vote. We'll see you next time.
Absolutely.